List price, invoice, what does it all mean? New or used, go to TrueCar.com. They create clarity. All right, let's go to Joel Klatt. He is at the Baker Mayfield Pro Day today. And this is where, the scouts show up, and Baker Mayfield's on his home turf, home practice facility via the Coward Global Satellite Network. I imagine this is like in Norman, Oklahoma, and off-season Joel Klatt with a fine little beard working there. Okay, you went to the Johnny Manziel Pro Day. Do you remember? And we compare these two guys. Is it similar to that Pro Day?
Okay, first of all, stop comparing them. I told you last time that's a bad comparison. It's not even in the same hemisphere football-wise. It's not even in the same hemisphere off the field. But since you want to compare their pro days, the atmosphere back then at A&M with Johnny was kind of a circus. He had the fatigues. He had the DJ going up in kind of the rafters. I mean, it was everything but football. Today, it was all business. It was all about making the throws. It was all about the 50 or 55 throws that he made. Jimmy Clausen was here, who's been working with Baker up in the kind of the Westlake area and the Los Angeles area. So it was very much more a business approach than that was a few years ago in that circus atmosphere at College Station.
By the way, he's wearing a headband. You know who also wears one of those? Johnny Manziel. How can I not? Good God.
So does Rambo.
I mean, I swear to God, they look alike. So tell me about his throws. What impressed you? What didn't impress you?
Yeah, so I think one of the things that gets lost in this, and it's in large part because guys like you perpetuate this myth that it's all about off the field, but what is actually going on is this guy has a really strong arm, and it's actually one of the better arms that we've got available in this draft. He can throw the football with velocity. He's got great accuracy and touch when it comes to between the numbers, and so showcasing some of those throws, in particular the deep out routes, down the field, the go routes, the comebacks, things of that nature, I think that allows Baker to show off some of that arm strength that he has and not many people talk about. If you go back and watch some of his tape and go through this last season, you'll see a game against Texas in that Red River Shootout in the Cotton Bowl, and he's backpedaling, and then all of a sudden he flips his hips and throws the ball 61 yards in the air for a touchdown. That shows me that off-platform, on-platform, he's got the arm talent to go out there and make successful throws at the next level.
Did he talk to anybody?
Yeah, he talked to a whole pool of reporters. He'll be talking with the NFL Network. We're probably going to get him after this interview, and I'll chat with him a little bit. I chatted with him while his teammates were going through some of the, the shuttle and the 40 and the bench press and the training center and the switcher center. And he was very calm and ready to get out here and work out and get this process moving along, because there's one thing that he knows and all of us know. Some teams are going to love him. Some teams might not, and that's fine. That's fine with him as well. What he wants to do is be true to himself, go out there and go to a team that really wants him and wants him to be in their building, and then he's going to go in there and be a leader and be infectious like he was here at Oklahoma. I know you don't like infectious, but infectious people with energy generally are successful.
I got infected one time. It was no fun at all, so I'm not a big fan of that stuff.
No, not infected, infectious. Different things here, different things.
Okay. So what teams are there? We all know that Buffalo's moving up, needs a quarterback. We know Cleveland needs a quarterback. I still think Denver would go out and get a quarterback. Miami at 11 needs a quarterback. I mean, the Jets at 6, they get Bridgewater. I still think they draft a quarterback. What is your feeling of the teams you saw there today?
Yeah, first of all, everyone was here, but I don't think there was a team more represented with power than the Denver Broncos. Woo! John Elway was here. Gary Kubiak was here. Matt Russell was here. Vance Joseph, the head coach, was here. 2 other area scouts were here. So the Broncos were represented very strong. And obviously, they've got a lot of needs. Remember, they need offensive line help. They need some running back help, but they obviously need quarterback help. And they showed out with some serious power here before going to UCLA tomorrow. So that was the one that I thought was most interesting.
Now, you've been to a lot of these pro days. You were at Carson Wentz. I think you were the only guy in America that braved the 9 degrees below zero for Carson Wentz.
That's right.
You were way up there by yourself up in wherever, he played. So you've seen a bunch of these. On a scale 1 to 10 of impressive, 1 to 10 impressive, just the physique, the arm, the movement, the body. You're a scout. Where's Baker land?
Probably 7.5, and candidly, that's probably where he should be when you're in shorts and a T-shirt just throwing on air. because he's not going to have the Josh Allen howitzer, and it's going to be very different. Probably not the fluidity of movement that you would see from a Rosen just dropping back. But when you get him on the field and you give him a game and a clock and a play clock and the ability to compete to win, that's when I think he plays his best football. He's proven that over the last 3 years. And this is a guy that 2 successive years broke the NCAA efficiency record. I mean, 2 successive years. He takes risks and yet doesn't throw interceptions. He was maybe the most impactful player in college football, he and Sam Darnold. I think Baker Mayfield is a no-brainer for some of these teams at the top, and I think someone's going to have to go into the top 6 to get him. I don't see him falling out of the top 6. I think Buffalo might get aggressive and try to get up there, and I think he's probably in play for Denver as well, because remember, I don't know if Case Keenum is a long-term solution for Denver. Maybe he is, maybe he's not, but they certainly are going to have some sort of long-term solution at the quarterback position.
Do you think Darnold still goes number 1 to Cleveland?
I do. That's the consensus that I'm getting. When you look at all these quarterbacks, there are questions about each and every one of them. I think with Darnold, though, the questions tend to be answered a little bit more positively or easily. One of the things that I've loved about Sam Darnold is the fact that he made his teammates so much better. When they played Alabama without him 2 years ago, they were not even in the same hemisphere. Then he comes in, all of a sudden they win the Rose Bowl. They go and they win the Pac-12 championship. They were anemic on offense schematically. They didn't have great players around him. Their offensive line was bad, and he was forced into a position where he really needed to force the football down the field. That's why I think you saw some of the turnovers. I think that's why Cleveland's going to lean towards that and probably take Sam number 1.
By the way, I think we're nitpicking all these guys. Blaine Gabbert went in the first round. He had 16 TDs and 9 picks. Christian Ponder went in the first round. He averaged 150, 60 yards. I mean, some of these guys, I think, all I know is this, is that Darnold, Rosen, and Baker, and I'm not a Baker guy, but those are legitimate prospects Darnold threw for 7,200 yards behind a bad old line. I think we're nitpicking all of these guys. Listen, I don't think Baker's going to be Manziel. I think he can absolutely Case Keenum come into this league when he gets help and win games. You tell me, do you think these...
Oh, see, I got you. 2 weeks ago, you weren't saying that. I have convinced you. Say it right now. Say it. I've convinced you.
Convince me that Baker can win games in the NFL. Yes, but I know...
That's right.
I don't think he's going to be a Manziel bust. I've always thought I say this before. Everybody's got a prototype. Okay? Darnold's prototype is Andrew Luck. I just think I just think that Baker's prototype is closer to Case Keenum than Drew Brees. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I mean, you realize that Drew Brees is about to, this year, set the all-time passing mark in NFL history, right?
Yes, that's why I think the comparison to Baker is ridiculous.
Well, yeah, because obviously, you don't compare anybody to Tom Brady or John Elway or a guy like even Drew Brees. He's probably going to set the touchdown record as well in a couple of years. I think he needs like 52 touchdowns to pass Manning for the all-time lead in touchdown passes. So, yeah, I mean, you don't compare him to those guys, but wouldn't you take what Case Keenum did this year? I think a lot of teams, more than half the teams in the league, would take Case Keenum, and that's why he went at such a premium to Denver in free agency.
All right, I got to get out of here. Hey, listen, when you go interview Baker, none of these fluff questions. Why don't you get tough in there? Okay, none of these like, hey, I really like your game. Please respond. Why don't you get tough in there and box out?
All right. I will do that. So I'll channel everything in me to not do a cowherd interview.
Ooh, that stings. Joel Klatt, off-season Joel Klatt. Good seeing you, bud. That's whatever. The headband though does have a Manzielish. Am I not?
We just saw him yesterday.
Yeah, we saw Manziel yesterday with a headband.
Now
Baker
with a headband.
Oh yeah. Think a train's going to stop if it sees your car on the tracks? It will stop a mile after it hits you. So don't try to beat it because statistics show you will lose. Stop. Trains can't. All right, hour 3. Robert Klemko's on camera, the Monday Morning Quarterback. So Nate Solder has left the Patriots. He's going to the New York Giants. New York Giants just found themselves a Pro Bowl level left tackle to protect Eli Manning. That is a very good day for the New York Giants, who now reportedly take Saquon Barkley, number 2 pick, their Ezekiel Elliott. Things looking up in New York? Hour 3 next, The Herd.
When you look down.